chain rule and product rule. The product rule that we will be using in this video is f prime times g plus f times g prime. Most of the textbook use this. Most of the textbook use fg prime plus gf prime. They are exactly the same. They just switch the order of the two products. All right, so let's start with the first problem. The first problem is we have y equals to e raised to a to the x times negative 3x to the 4 plus 2 raised to x to the 6th power. This is definitely a product rule followed by a chain rule. So first of all, we have that, and then we have y prime. So the product rule is f prime g, right? So you write e to the ax, take the derivative of that, negative 3x to the 4 plus 2 x to the 6, and then you add a to the x, and then take the derivative of the second factor, negative 3x to the 4 plus 2x to the 6th power, to the 6th power, and then we take the derivative of that. Okay, so now, and then this is e to the anything is e to the anything. Am I missing a number in front? Of course, yes. We have ax inside exponential function, so you also need to take the derivative of ax, which is equals to a. And then for a good habit, I always write down that I just use chain rule. And then the second factor, copy 2x to the 6th power, and then plus copy e to the ax, and then the derivative of this is negative 12x to the 3rd power. And then how about the derivative of that? The derivative of that exponential function. First of all, the base to the anything is the base to the anything. So 2x to the 6th power, and then you have ln the base in front of this term. And then x to the 6 is a function inside the inside the exponential function, right? So you also need to multiply the derivative of x to the 6, so which is multiply 6x to the 5th. So every time I do a chain rule, I draw a big dot for multiplication and I write down chain rule. So when I check my work, so maybe tomorrow or a couple days later, I know that in this step, I apply the chain rule. Okay, so that's it. Usually when you do works online, I'm not sure they want you to fully simplify this. Okay, so for me, okay, so when you do works in my class, I ask everybody to leave the final answer like this because I can easily check their work. All right, moving on to the next one. The next one we have a w, right? So the next one we have a w equals to negative 3t squared plus pi t, and then times 5 minus e to the negative 7t raised to the 30th power. So we have w prime. So w prime, what is that equal to? We have w prime, so f prime g. So we take the derivative of the first factor plus pi t, derivative of this, copy the second factor, negative 7t to the 30th power, and then plus copy the first term, the first factor, and then multiply the derivative of the second factor. So 5 negative e, negative 7t, and then 30th power. So we take the derivative of that. So w prime, that is equals to, this is a negative 6t, right? And then plus pi, copy the second factor, and then copy the first factor, and then times the derivative of that. So we have everything inside the parenthesis raised to the 30th power. So we need to bring the 30 power first, whatever inside raised to the 29 power, and then we multiply the derivative of the parenthesis. So this is 5 minus e to the negative 7t. The derivative of that is 0, right? And then 0 minus what? The derivative of e to the anything is e to the anything. So that is e to the negative 7t, and then multiply the derivative of negative 7t, which is negative 7. And then we close the parenthesis. And then this one, I just put a big chain rule in there. So one big dot and then another big dot. Every time there is a big dot, I know I put chain rule. So one little tip for the chain rule is one little warning first is people overlook the terms all the time. Okay, so the problem in here can be you forgot the -70, which happens a lot on exam. So my tips for chain rule is look harder. Okay, look harder. After you finish taking the derivative, make sure you double check every single thing you wrote and then ask yourself, did I take care every single function? In this problem, did I take care the parenthesis inside the 30th power? Did I take care the -70? Ask yourself this question. Make sure you check everything because it is so easy to miss one term. All right. So moving on to the next problem. The next problem we have h of x equals to 10 raised to the, right here, h of x equals to 10 raised to the e and then raised to the 3x. All right, let's do that. Okay, so we have h of x equals to 10 raised to the e to the 3x and then h prime of x. This is an exponential function. The derivative of that is you have ln, the base in front, and then you copy the entire term one more time. So 10 e to the 3x. Now ask yourself, did you clear all the functions? Did you clear the e? Did you clear the 3x? Not yet, right? So you multiply the derivative of the exponent, the e to the 3x, so e to the anything is e to the anything, and then you have a 3 in front. Oh, maybe I should do this. You have the derivative of e to the anything is e to the 3x, and then you apply the chain rule again because there is a 3x inside the e, so the derivative of 3x is equals to 3. With a little bit of practice, you can just put the 3 in front of the e so you can save the second dot for the chain rule. So every time I apply a chain rule, I will just put a dot in here and then a dot over there, so that stands for the chain rule. Alright, so when you do works online, I believe that you have to go like that. So 3 ln 10, so this is the coefficient, and then 10 e to the 3x, and then you multiply e to the 3x. They do want you to clean up that a little bit. Alright, so what's the next one? The next one is right over here. So the next one is right over here. So we have g of x equals to e raised to a product. So let me just drop this down. So the next one is g of x equals to e raised to this product, x times e to the -10x, and then the derivative of that, e to the anything is always e to the anything. And then you take the derivative of the power, which is x times e. I should not use a dot, e to the -10x. So this is clearly a chain rule, right? Chain rule and product. What's the product rule again? The product rule is fg plus fg. The order of the derivative is f first, g next. Okay, so that is equals to e to the x e -10x, and then you have a big square bracket for the product rule. So the derivative of x is equals to 1, and then e to the -10x. I prefer to write a 1 rather than nothing is when I check my work, I know I took the derivative of x. And then plus f, the derivative of the e is e to the anything, right? And then what else? Chain rule, the derivative of this power is -10, so I know I apply a chain rule over there. Alright, so this one, do you need to clean that up? I don't think you will need to multiply, you will need to distribute this term in. I will just clean up the x and the -10. Instead of writing a plus x, I will just write minus 10x and then e to the -10x. All right, let's do another example. So I want to do one more, and then I will conclude this video. So let's do one more. The last example that I would like to do is y equals to 3x to the 4th minus 8, and then raised to the 10th power, -2x to the 6th minus e times x, not raised to the x, and then raised to the -20th power. Alright, so this is clearly a product rule. So product rule is fg plus fg. The order of the derivative is f first, g second. So y prime. And then you have to do f prime g, right? So f prime g, so this is a take the 10 down, whatever that is, raised to the 9 power, and then you have to use the chain rule to take the derivative of the 3x to the 4th power minus 8. So this one you copy it first, and then the derivative of that is 12x to the 3rd minus 0. So this, I just did a chain rule over here. And then g, we just copy g, right? So negative 2x to the 6th minus e times x raised to the negative 20th power. So what we just did is, we just did a f prime and then a g, g. And then we plus fg prime, right? So for f, we just copy it one more time, 3x to the 4th minus 8 to the 10th power, and then g prime. So g prime, you bring the negative 20 down, and then negative 20 minus 1 is negative 21. And then this, we copy. Now we take the derivative of that using chain rule. So the derivative of the stuff inside the parenthesis is negative 12x to the 5th power. What's the derivative of e times x? E is a constant, x is a linear term. The derivative is just a e. So this, we just did f times a g prime. And then this is definitely a chain rule. This part is definitely by a chain rule. Alright, so that is the end of this video. If you like it, give me a like, and I will catch you all in the next lesson. Signing out.